Being named to the WJBF Football Friday Night Carolina Panthers All-CSRA team is an honor, and WJBF and Jostens are providing these players with an award that they will wear with pride.
Jostens is all about celebrating milestone moments in a young person's life, whether it be with a class ring in high school or a cap and gown as they near graduation, or with a championship ring that commemorates a special season. We love being a part of celebrating those moments that matter. We got together and we looked at some various designs, and the uniqueness of the design certainly represents football, the sport that we're celebrating and the season that we're celebrating. And then to have the ability to put the name of that recipient along with News Channel 6's Football Friday Night logo on the other side, you know, truly depicts what that year and what the significance of this is all about. We did make a slight change this year. Again, we're real happy with the design that we originally created. But the stone, you're going to see a little different color in the stone this year, just to make a subtle change, just to give it a little bit of an image of difference from what we've used in years past. So we're excited about that. Yeah, size 15, Austin Schofield is the recipient of our largest ring. Just to put that in perspective, an average size high school class ring for a young man is a size 10. So size 15 for Austin, that's going to be a big one. But this will be kind of the culmination, I think, when they are able to slip that ring on their finger and look at it. And a lot of memories, I think, will come back from them from the season, a lot of the hard work that they put into it. Josh.
A big shout out to Jostens. Now it is finally time to announce the All-CSRA offensive team.
TJ Bell, cornerback, Jefferson County High School.
You know, we just kind of cut him loose this year, let him go. He's had all the tools. You know, he's got the height, he's got the speed, he's got the size to be great at the position. And, you know, based on his stats that he's had this year, I think that shows.
And I don't even need to tell you his stats. He knows them off the top of his head.
2,249 passing yards, 23 touchdowns. I had 1,205 rushing yards with 23 touchdowns.
If you're doing the math, that's 46 total touchdowns this season, a number he's rightfully proud of.
It shows off your hard work you've been grinding for, you know, since a freshman, you know, and to know that as a senior you put up big numbers, I mean, it's an honor.
He can hurt you in so many ways, but this one is his favorite.
You know, getting flushed out the pocket and finding the receiver open down the field, you know, that makes the stadium go crazy.
Bell and the Warriors set school records for points and yards in a season, but Coach Arnold has known his QB's talent for quite some time now.
We've grown together. I've watched him since rec ball. Him and my son have played together since on some rec ball teams, and just watching him mature, I think, is a great thing.
Billy Mance, running back, Thompson High School.
Billy Mance had one of the best rushing seasons in Thompson's storied history. Even with missing the final couple games due to injury, he ran for nearly 1,700 yards.
So proud of Billy. Billy came a long way this year. We weren't getting what we wanted out of him during the June, July time with workout. The light finally came on, and when it did, boy, did it really.
So how does Mance describe himself as a runner?
Powerful, little explosiveness, and got a little breakaway speed.
And when he gets that handoff, he's thinking,
just getting his own.
and he certainly did, rushing for 27 touchdowns in 2015. But he didn't just come up big for Thompson. With the score tied at 21, he ran in what ended up being the game-winning touchdown for Team Georgia in this year's Border Bowl.
He turned into a heck of a football player.
Shakur Chisholm, running back, Wilston Elko High School.
Just a lot of wow moments. And our kids kind of started looking up to him, and he really just led us all year long.
You know, it was a nice feeling coming to Williston, man. Like,
I loved it here.
After Shakur Chisholm's junior season at Barnwell, he transferred to Allendale Fairfax for a brief stint before heading to Williston-Elko. 3 schools in a short period of time, but he's got a positive perspective on a difficult time.
I learned a different thing at each one of the schools. You know, I grew up each time. I feel like I matured way more than what I used to be.
I mean, he's extremely humble. He just, kind of just fits in. He's not the center of attention.
Maybe off the field, but he certainly is on it. Chisholm made his first and only season at Williston count, rushing for almost 2,200 yards and 31 touchdowns. But he's quick to hand out the credit to his teammates.
I mean, I love them guys, man. You know, the bond that we grew over the season, it became stronger and stronger.
What do you like doing outside of football?
Playing 2K. Yeah, I'm a my player, dude. Like, I take that very seriously. I just like to have fun all the time. I feel like life is about fun, and that's what I like to do.
Malik Hightower, wide receiver, Fox Creek High School.
I think it's one of the best receivers I've ever been around.
And Coach Quinn has been around some pretty good receivers at North Augusta, including Matt Hazel, who plays for the Miami Dolphins. Hightower had 53 catches for over 1,000 yards and 17 touchdowns this season.
I mean, he has great breakaway speed. He can stretch the defense, and he has the uncanny ability to make the spectacular catch.
I like running, so I like, I get the one-on-one battles all the time, so it's pretty much, one versus one out there on that island. I like being isolated.
And once you get behind the defense, anybody catching you?
Nah, I haven't got caught yet.
Hightower says he likes going up and getting the ball at the highest point and not letting the defender get it. He says he likes making big plays that pump up the crowd. And you may have noticed that big smile he had on his face the whole time talking to us. Well, there's one more thing he likes too.
Yeah, I like being in front of the camera.
Andre James, wide receiver, Laney High School.
He's the excitement. Anytime he touches the ball, anything can happen.
And every time I touch the ball, my goal is to get in the end zone.
He has a nose for the end zone, definitely. So when he has a chance to get there, he's going to go all out to achieve his goal.
Andre James achieved that goal of getting into the end zone 12 times this season.
It's amazing, man. I like hitting the crowd whirl a lot. That's my favorite about scoring a lot.
Andre says his speed is a big reason he's able to score so many touchdowns, but his coach says it's not all about his wheels.
He has great hands. He can find the open spot, whether it's a zone defense or a man defense. He kind of can get open.
James has developed into one of the area's best wide receivers, but it's a position he almost didn't play.
In middle school, I was actually a quarterback. In 9th grade, I had messed up my shoulder, so I started playing receiver.
And that just might have been the best injury ever to happen to James and to the Wildcats.
Drake Waltower, wide receiver, North Augusta High School.
Both his coach and Drake himself say he's a quiet guy. His play on the field, well, that makes a lot of noise. Waltower scored 8 touchdowns this season for the Yellow Jackets.
How were you able to find the end zone so much?
Speed.
It is speed, but it's not like his QB was just bombing it deep to him every time.
He caught several slants and went for a big touchdown, 70, 80 yards. And so like I said, anytime you got a threat, you can stretch the defense is good.
And once Drake gets behind the defense, there's just one thought in his head.
I just try to get it to the end zone so I can celebrate with my teammates.
What makes his performance this season even more impressive is that it was his first year on varsity. And even more than that, he's only been playing organized football for a few years thanks to his protective mom.
When I was small, I always wanted to play football. And then my mom decided my 8th grade year to let me play.
So did your mom not let you play before then?
No.
Why not?
She's afraid I was gonna get hurt.
What does she think now?
She was just like, I should have let you play a long time ago.
Ethan Crawford, offensive line, Aquinas High School.
Ethan Crawford is like a lot of young people. After school or after practice, he likes to sit back, relax, and watch a little of that YouTube. Except instead of watching hilarious cat videos, Ethan is watching videos on offensive line technique.
2-up pass protection stance.
Or sometimes even watching videos of himself.
This year we started filming every practice. He'll go home and watch it every night.
I'm accountable of myself. You gotta not just look at what you did good, you gotta look at what you did bad, so you know that's what you need to work on. It's meant to be a better player each and every week.
He was a player that Coach James Leonard says they ran behind nearly 85% of the time.
Big tank over there at left tackle. Does a great job protecting the blind side, but he's ferocious down block. I mean, we run behind him a ton.
Crawford may be a big tank now, but apparently that wasn't always the case, and that led to a bit of a nickname problem.
Freshman year when I was a little softy, they called me Honey Bun, but after I proved myself to the team, they started calling me Diesel.
So just to be clear, Diesel you like better than Honey Bun?
Just a little bit.
Deontay Smith, offensive line, Grovetown.
Deontay Smith is 6'5", 317 pounds, but he's more than just a big man with a big skill set.
He's a great student, a great teammate. He's in it for everybody. He's not in it for himself. And you couple that with, coming from a great family with, great ability on the field, and you've got the total package.
I describe myself as someone that's trying to be supportive to my teammates and just try to be a good person to people.
Sometimes that being a good person thing goes a little too far for some people off the field.
Just give people a hello when they need a hello sometimes, Sometimes people think they think I'm being weird when I say hello. Well, most people think I'm intimidating, so I try to make myself known first before they feel any intimidation.
And that total package of being a good person off the field includes some great charity work as well. Deontay's main focus is with helping the fight against Alzheimer's, a cause that's very close to his heart.
My grandfather had Alzheimer's and he passed away July 14th. He was a real important factor in my life. I spent a lot of time with him from every summer till I was about 4 years old to 12.
And his grandfather left him with some great advice.
He always said you need to be your own man. You don't have to follow anybody. Just be you.
Drew Wilson, offensive line, Bamberg Earhart High School.
He's quiet. He looks like he's a little baby up front, in the face. But then when he puts that helmet and shoulder pads on, man, he becomes a different monster.
Bamberg Earhart senior offensive lineman Drew Wilson can easily tell you his favorite part of playing football.
The physical, just me knocking over people.
And he's a big fan of pancakes, particularly these kind of pancakes, averaging nearly 5 knockdowns a game this season.
Love it. I like to see them, on the ground, and they look up at me and they're like, "You a big boy," and I say, "Yeah." I mean, get up and we do it all over again.
He loves to see those pancake blocks, and we love to see him make those pancake blocks. He's just one of those guys that what you look for in an offensive lineman. You find a nasty offensive lineman, that's Drew.
Wilson has a bright future ahead in football with several D1 offers to pick from, but his run in Bamberg was special to him.
Great memories I made on this field and with my teammates. I went to a state championship as a junior, so I can always say I went to the state championship. I mean, we didn't win, unfortunately, but I had great memories here. My father loves football, and I would you know, I'm trying to go somewhere that he can see me, and that's one thing he could do here was see me a lot. You know, playing in front of the fans, playing in front of the community, because it's a great community.
Austin Schofield, offensive line, Aiken High School.
He's the guy we ran behind all year. So, he's probably the biggest one on the field most of the time. So if we needed something, that's where he went.
I am 6'3", about, I don't know my exact weight. It's roughly like 325, 330. It's fun being able to throw your weight around.
That's on par with the size of a lot of NFL linemen. And he's not just big, but Austin Schofield is versatile. He can play anywhere along the offensive line, but his favorite play in football is pulling from the guard position.
I have to say pulling. It's fun. You get to basically pull around, surprise defensive linemen.
He's certainly surprised his fair share of defenders in his career.
That's the best part. Whenever you get pancake guys, makes your job a lot easier. You don't have to worry about him getting up, making a play.
Well, I'm sure if you're on the other end of it, it's not real fun. It's like I say, he's fast enough to get around there, he's agile enough to get around there, and when he gets there, he knows what to do with it most of the time. You don't hear much from Austin unless you try to find something from Austin. He's not a real vocal guy. Of course, you can't miss him coming down the hall or coming across the field, but he is a leader.
Daniel Smith, offensive line, Wilston Elko High School.
It's one of those things when you have a good offensive lineman and people know you have a good offensive lineman and you get in those crunch times in games, people know where you're going to go, and when you can still go there and be successful, I think that speaks volumes.
It was just fun. I mean, I enjoyed every moment of it. Getting to play in one of the best schools in the state was a good opportunity for me.
Daniel's he's been around. Daniel's seasoned.
A two-time All-CSRA player, Daniel Smith is one of the most consistent offensive linemen in the area, who still took his game to another level this season, starting in the weight room.
Just enjoyed lifting weights more. I probably spend 2.5 hours in the gym every day after school. And I really started to enjoy it. I started off just lifting for football, but no, it's one of my favorite activities.
You the strongest guy on the team?
I think so right now, yep.
You take pride in that?
I do, of course.
Smith has been such a staple at Williston Elko, it'll be weird not having him in a Blue Devil uniform next season.
4-year guys are, they're few and far between. We're talking about a kid that I think he played 51 games in his high school career.
Oh, he's a great guy. He'll do so much for me, he's just contacting so many college coaches for me. He's like a father, he'll watch out for his players.
You're just used to having him, it seems like he's been around here forever, He's going to be a kid that we're going to miss.
Ryan O'Neill, kicker, Lincoln County High School.
He was big into soccer now. I didn't think he was going to play football for a while.
But his freshman year of high school, Ryan O'Neill gave it a shot.
Coach Barnett, which is our special teams coach, got him out here and said, Coach Banks, I got us a kicker.
And not just any kicker, but one with some power, which was on full display against Twiggs County this fall.
Coach asked me, he said, can you make this kick? I was like, yes, sir, I can. And I didn't know how far it was.
I said, well, let's try this field goal. Didn't realize it was 50 yards.
The guy on the announcing it, he goes, Ryan O'Neill for the 50-yard field goal. And so then I was like, oh, well, it's kind of far,
Wow, man, it was right before halftime. So when he made it, everybody just jumped up in there and we ran on the inside.
It was definitely pretty memorable.
Coach Banks isn't shocked by that power, though.
The thing about Ryan is Ryan was one of our better athletes. He's one of the few kickers that we have had that like the weight rooms. And I tried to get him to play a little defensive back, but he didn't like doing that, so we let that alone.
And now he's looking into kicking at the college level. So you could say he adapted pretty well to the sport.
I wasn't even going to play football at all in high school until the coach, got me out here. So no, I never would have believed that I'd be here.
Christian Tutt, kick returner, Thompson High School.
If you could use just one word to describe Christian Tutt.
Explosive.
If you could use 3 words to describe Christian Tutt, they might be beyond his years. Tutt is only a sophomore, but he already emerged as one of the premier players in the area, if not the entire state.
Just a phenomenal player at such a young age.
It's not just his great natural ability that allows him to be so good, so young.
Tutt getting blocked. Let's see if Tutt catches him.
Knowing the game in and out. You know, I know where to be on the field at the right time. Most high school players don't know the game in and out. You know, they just starting to get into it. So, you know, I've been playing this game since I was about 3 years old.
But don't just take Christian's word for it, or ours, that he's one of the best players around. Take the over 20 college football programs that want the 5-star recruit to come play for them.
You know, I often think back, I don't know if I could have handled all the recruiting stuff that he's gone through as just a sophomore. I think he's handled it very well.
Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, something they'll have to handle is playing without Christian next year. He made the tough decision to transfer to IMG Academy in Florida.
I ain't want to leave my hometown. I ain't want to leave my home team. But I feel like it's a good move, you know, to better myself.
And it seems like the sky is the limit for Tutt, especially if he keeps improving.
Has all the tools to one day really play at the big level.
Now here's the WJBF Football Friday Night Carolina Panthers All CSRA offensive team.
And we will be right back with the All CSRA defensive team after the break.